right, let's do it like this. It looks awful, but it's one step away from TikTok Subway Surfer content. So it's good enough, right? It's good enough, right? Anyway, this is part 2 to the Boogie documentary from Mike Klum. And if you haven't seen part 1 yet, please do so. We've gone over the job interview that Boogie did, and we've gone over part 1 of the Boogie documentary. This is part 2. If you want context, please go either watch the original documentary or watch part 1 of this series. With that said, we are at the stage right now where professionals are weighing in on Boogie and trying to figure out what in the hell can be done to help him, if anything. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
I'm not going to say it's impossible, but how do you change yourself? Like, viewers are smart. Like, they want to see you. They want to see what you're interested in. I don't know. You got to get a job. Maybe in this case, GameStop.
Jesus. That has to be one of the cruelest ways you could go about this. Maybe you need to get a job. The job should be GameStop. Like, can you imagine the utter hell of going from being one of the most recognizable YouTubers of all time to working at a GameStop? And not because, oh, that's demeaning. No job you work at is demeaning. Any job that you work at and you enjoy is fine. Any job that you are a part of is fine. However, specifically at GameStop, that is where the highest amount of people who have seen Boogie content are going to be. The most people who can judge you for your actions, they'll be there. I would say maybe instead of a GameStop, working at your local card shop, because like everybody there will already know you. Everybody there will already be, there'll be a person you already know. There'll be a person you probably don't hate. And maybe that can also help with some of the, previously talked about addictions like Magic the Gathering. Who knows? That's just a thought from me, though. Boogie agreed to attempt to get a real job. Is this where we get to the interview? We get to the interview part. Part 3, starting over.
My name is Dawn.
Dawn, I'm Boogie.
I said Boogie up with a professional staffing agency based in Arkansas.
Honestly, probably Steve. Let's go with Steve.
Okay, Steve. No problem. Whatever you prefer. And so you are here today because you are seeking employment.
Yeah.
You're seeking out new work opportunities.
Absolutely.
Tell me a little bit about your background and where you think you want to go with the experience that you already have.
I did work at a small gaming store back in 2006, 2007. I am disabled, recognized by the state of Arkansas, but also the United States government. There's that. Now, the downside of that is I am
Let's squish him
so
like this.
Mental health issues that we bring to the table. And then physically, I am morbidly obese. I have no references, no work history, and no education. And when you Google my name, you might see rumors that I beat my ex-wife and I'm also a pedophile. Should mention I'm also a felon.
Okay.
So this is all stuff we covered in the interview part. So letting people know some of that stuff up front, sure, but it does shoot yourself in the foot. All you should do in this stage of the interview, all you should do is go, hey, if you look online, you will find that I am registered as a felon. Here's the context behind why that happened. Any other allegations you can point out going, hey, any other allegations that are there? I am a public figure. As a public figure, I make enemies. It's just a natural thing that happens as being a public figure. And if you find any of these things, just understand this is the context in which they happen. It's a way to circumvent that blame there. Because anybody who's not a public figure can at the very least understand the sort of like tabloidal nature of the news cycle. And if they do, then they can probably help you navigate that, those issues happening in your life as a content creator. Oh, you're known by this many people. You've made this many enemies. It makes sense. Everything else, going like, well, I'm not educated. I'm not this. Don't sell yourself short at an interview. You're not non-educated because that's just about formal education. You're not non-educated. You are an autodidact. If you sell yourself as an autodidact, then instead of seeming like you're somebody who is not worth the time for the agency, not worth the time for them to headhunt for, instead you seem like somebody who takes initiative. You are somebody who knows what they want, knows what they're doing, and can navigate that stuff on their own. It makes you sound independent, as opposed to making you sound like you don't bring skills to the table. And I think that's the important thing to take away from this. Also, if my breathing sounds ragged right now, it's because I am still getting over being sick, and just every breath right now feels raspy. But anywho.
What's the nature of your felony?
Aggravated assault.
How old is it?
About 2 years.
Okay. So I think there are some avenues you could explore. I definitely don't think it's impossible, but you have some challenges.
Yeah.
Lots of things in life.
Zilbear, thank you very much for the hydrate.
And you're using weight and disability. I can't. If that is the attitude that you're going to have when you approach everything, then you can't. And you won't.
I did work in the porn industry for the better part of 7 years, so I mean...
Be real with me. Do you really think it would be a good idea to go to a real interview and reference porn?
It depended on the job, I would think.
No, it doesn't depend on the job. You don't reference porn. You go, hey, I have experience in the film industry. I have experience in the independent film industry. You don't have to talk about it being porn. You can just say, I would prefer not to put that I would prefer not to put the details of it down on paper, but I have worked in the independent film industry. There you go. There you go. That is the work that you get to put in. If you say it as anything else, you are shooting yourself in the foot. And I think I can, with the context of everything else in this documentary, I think I'm willing to say that I wholeheartedly stand by everything I said about the interview section of this. I think Boogie self-sabotages. I think he self-sabotages because he does not want to be helped. He does not, or rather, he does not want to help himself. He wants to be helped. He does not want to say, recognize he's made mistakes, and then find a way to navigate his way through those mistakes. What he wants is somebody to bail him out of those mistakes. He does not want to say, hey, what can I provide to you to make it worth your while to help me? He wants to go, I already did everything to be worth your while. I deserve to be helped. I deserve to be bailed out of this. That's the mentality that he has, because he feels like he can't do anything. Here's the thing. If you're doing YouTube because you honestly, like, outside of being a vulnerable narcissist where you don't believe that you have no skills, but let's say you honestly believe that you're doing YouTube because you have no skills. The realistic thing to understand is being successful at YouTube means you have developed skills, and you need to take those skills into an environment that will allow you to better utilize them. There are plenty of industries that will take a huge YouTuber because they know that he's good at marketing. They know that he's good at a variety of things that have to do with filming and presentation and everything like that. That stuff is important to a lot of industries. But not if you're shooting yourself in the foot. Not really.
Like at a strip club maybe, but probably not in a more professional setting, I would say.
Yes, I would say that.
What would you think his chances are here of getting employment in the next 3 months?
I'm not sure. When it comes to the felony, we would have to seek corporate approval for that sort of charge in order to proceed forward with a candidate. And they would ultimately be the ones to make the decision as to whether or not we would feel comfortable presenting someone like that to our clients. Violent felonies.
Boogie was unable to gain corporate approval. Yep.
Hey, Mike. Listen, dude. I know we're making this documentary and everything, and I know you think I need to get a real job, but I just want to let you know I'm not going to. I'm not going to walk into some job when I have 4 million subscribers on YouTube. I'm one of the original YouTubers. What I'm going to do instead...
Oh, I did not get to this stage before. Oh, so he It's not even just armchair psychology. This person doesn't want to be helped. No, he literally just fucking says, I don't want to get a job. I don't want to do that. Elura Potapanda says, how much would Boogie need to make it a normal job? Based on his... So, if we take my expenses, my house expenses for 3 people, and we just trade out my mortgage for Boogie's mortgage, and then add on healthcare to that because I don't have healthcare, then he would need to be making about $70,000 a year, 75,000. And then he could cover most of his expenses pretty handedly at that point. That's based off of my numbers, though. I don't know what all of his expenses look like, but that's my numbers with a house of 3 people. So, and it was a house of 4 people for the longest time. So, I guess I think I'm close. I want to see what Mike's response to this was.
Is go back to making content, go back to telling stories and entertaining people, and making money doing it. You want to check back with me in a couple of months? Let's see how things are going. All right? I'll talk to you then.
Go lay down.
Okay, so before he talks about the 3 months later thing, because I need to throw my predictions in for this. So my prediction is that changing his content up is not going to have a major effect in just 3 months. So, just so you guys know, as a content creator, you become viral when you make a video that does extremely well, and then you have to emulate that content that goes viral. If in the pre-planning process you're just like, no, I'm going to change this to telling stories. I'm going to change this to telling stories. You don't actually know if that's going to change your content. Especially if it's something you've done before. You don't know if the audience that was there for that content has already moved on and away from you. If they have, then you're not gonna gain anything doing that. Also, Small Fry, thank you for giving me your points, friend. I didn't catch it when it happened, but thank you for that. You are rolling dice there. What you should be doing is not putting all your eggs in one basket and instead looking for employment at the exact same time you are changing up your content. Do both. Do both. If you're not making enough off your content, then you need to be getting supplementary income somehow. You need to.
Go lay down. Go lay down. Good job. Yeah, so, I mean, things aren't great. People are still mad at me on YouTube. My view numbers are pretty much close to...
Yep, audio got cut up. Sorry. This is the face you're selling to your audience. This is the person that you're selling to your audience right now. Also, Alpha Mario, why would you do this? Why would you do this right now? Why? We're covering Boogie, and yet you had to come in with an ooh. Just so everybody knows, Alpha Mario X dropped 50,001 points to make me say ooh, because I guess that's what makes you happy. Oh, fine, you got it. You got it. Thank you guys for letting me know I was muted. I'll have to cut that part out in post, but this is... The only thing that makes me sadder than having to say those fucking words is looking at somebody in Boogie's position, seeing how they present themselves, seeing how they operate themselves, just self-sabotaging, shooting themselves in the foot, not doing the things that you need to do to pivot yourself into a better position. Like, I'm a smaller channel, and when my finances started to take a plunge, I started looking into how can I change my content up? How can I make it easier for me to produce larger amounts of content? How can I start incorporating shorts into my content? What ways can I lightning rod people to the stuff that I'm doing? What ways can I expand into other areas? Like, how can I do all this? And here's the thing. I only started doing that stuff a few weeks ago. I'm not going to see any returns on that for a while, if I ever do, but it's still a whole bunch of changes at once in hopes that something will make things operate better. Just trying to stay in the comfort zone of doing the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, it can get you shot in the foot. Also, thank you, Stoff, for the wedding yourself. Thank you very much for that. Also, he's lost 50,000 subscribers since that. Jesus.
To 0. I'm having trouble breaking 10K on an upload right now. And, not everything is bad. I've got at least one good thing going on. Can I show you? So this is Desi, or you can call her Desiree.
Okay.
Yep, Desiree.
And we've been dating now for months.
A couple months, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So she's 30 years younger than Boogie. She is as old as I am, younger than Boogie. Now, they are both consenting adults. There's nothing necessarily wrong with two consenting adults getting into a relationship and there being an age gap. There's not. Whether that be 10, 20, 30 years, what have you. What I don't think is that this is going to solve his problems. Aaron says, when did they first meet? I don't know. I would not immediately jump onto, he groomed her. I would not immediately jump onto that. I know there's a history, let's say, where Boogie's concerned that people have brought up. He did mention the whole, like, pedophile thing before. But this is an adult. If she wants to be with an older person, then cool. It feels weird knowing the type of language that Boogie has used in regards to women and how he describes them. It feels a little weird. Like, knowing that anybody that he's in a relationship with is basically going to be viewed as a piece of meat. Dark Excalibur says, I can't conceive of dating someone barely out of high school and I'm only in my 30s. It's definitely not something that I could see as being enjoyable. Like, from my perspective, I would not be opposed to dating somebody who was, 20 at 31. I would not be opposed to it. But I wouldn't actively seek that out because that person is going to be in a completely different state of life than you are. That person is just figuring stuff out. That person is easier to manipulate. That person is figuring out stuff as they're going. They have not established themselves. They have not put down a good foundation. They have not gotten themselves in a position where they can advocate for themselves as well as somebody who is in their 30s or 40s or 50s. They are still learning those ropes. And I'm of the opinion that at 20, you are still learning those ropes. I was still learning those ropes at 20. It would be very hard, and it would take a very special kind of person for me to want at my age to go into one of those relationships right now. Because there's all kinds of things that come with that. It's not just the fact that that person is well out of your age group, has a whole different set of experiences than you. Generationally is very, very different. You guys aren't going to be able to relate on a lot of things. But there's also the added problem. And it's a bit of a big one. Y'all are in completely different financial brackets at that point. That can lead to some weird manipulation. Also, just in general, if somebody's in their early college years, right? It's just like if somebody's in high school, that person is still figuring a whole bunch of shit out. If you want a loving and stable long-term relationship, somebody at those ages is probably not who you're going to want to go for. And I'm not saying that to disparage people who found love at those early ages and stayed that way. I'm not. But in my experience, at those ages, love is a lot more volatile. There's a lot more people who haven't had a lot of their life experiences that they may want to, and some of those experiences that they may want to have on their bucket list could come at the cost of a relationship. Let's say you get with somebody who's a virgin and they've never been with a woman and you're a guy, and let's say you're not polyamorous, you're monogamous. And so the idea of you being in a relationship with somebody who wants to have sex with somebody else is super deeply uncomfortable. Now you've got a couple of options. You can be with somebody who's had that experience and is comfortable being with you because they've done that thing already. They're good. If they want to do it again, they can do it when they're not with you. Or you can have that person who's going to be going, but what if? What if I really want to do this thing? And it's a thing that necessarily would come at the cost of your relationship. As somebody who's lived that experience, I was 21 dating somebody who was 18, and I was there first. And over time, as the relationship grew older, she wanted to be with other people. It's how I discovered swinging. It's how I discovered being poly. It's how I got my experience realizing the type of person that I am, because they were trying to figure that stuff out, and I was having to make compromises in our relationship to make sure that that person could be accommodated, because I didn't want to lose my partner, who at that time we'd been together 3 years when I was 24 and she was 21. So, like, having been there, I no longer see the appeal. Unless the only appeal in a relationship that you have as a person is, oh, they look young and fit and hot. If that's the only appeal you have, well, that would line up with the ways that Boogie was objectifying women earlier in the documentary, at least. There's that. Armor and Quill says, I don't think that Boogie's ever had a healthy relationship before. I don't know enough about Boogie to make a judgment call on that. But, based on what I've seen of the documentary so far, probably true. Probably true. Again, if you are in a position where you are younger and want to date somebody who's older, this is not to disparage you and the things you like and the things you want. I'm just saying that there's a lot of hurdles that come with that, and I don't personally want to be a part of any of those hurdles. And honestly, I don't know why a lot of people would want to be a part of those hurdles, those gaps in finances, those gaps in maturity, those gaps in experience, those gaps in just generational experiences, like the types of media that y'all grew up with. Those gaps, they can be sometimes hard to navigate and sometimes impossible. Rosalind, thank you for the heckin' drink. My throat is definitely scratchy.
I don't know what it was. It was, I guess, his energy, his curly hair, his glasses. I must be into nerds. I guess, I don't know. He's just adorable to me. I like him. He was going through a lot, and I randomly hit him up on Instagram, and I told him that I support him and that.
Oh, it's he's dating a fan. He's dating a fan. That's what, he's dating a fan. That comes with some problems. I have a prediction for what's going to happen, but correct me if I'm wrong here. But when you go the route of dating a fan, one of two things happens. Either that fan becomes disillusioned with the type of person they realize you are, or you realize that fan had ulterior motives that you're not super comfortable with. One of those two things is very likely to happen. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying that content creators should cut their dating pool off at people who watch their content, because that would be absurd. That would be incredibly absurd. That would be like saying, oh, this person starred in a movie. Somebody else liked that movie. They shouldn't date. No, it's a stupid standard to have. But from experience, there is probably some hurdles there you don't want to deal with. One of these two is going to break and cause the other a lot of pain. Very, very likely. Might not happen, but experience is a bitch of a teacher, is all I will say. Experience is a bitch of a teacher.
I'm always here for him and stuff, and so it started from there.
On paper, it just doesn't really add up. right? It doesn't make sense on paper, but then practice and in reality, there was just something there.
It makes perfect sense. She is a fan. Everything about you, she is seeing through the lens of her being a fan of you. From top to bottom. It makes sense. You can be like, oh no, it doesn't make sense, but you have to view yourself outside of the lens of being a content creator. At the end of the day, Boogie is somebody who has at one time been a successful content creator. Because of that, you have to view the situation through that lens. And if you do, then no, this makes perfect sense.
So it was pretty crazy, but I just felt it. I felt an energy connection to him before I even met him, and I don't know, that's just how it is.
And then the longer we spent talking, I don't know, eventually you just realize we're the same person, doing the same thing, living the same lives, just at different stages.
Oh, that's maybe not something you want. That's maybe not something you want. Jesus Christ. You don't want to be a manipulator in failing stages of life and be like, this is the same person. I love this person. Wasn't it Seinfeld? Was it Seinfeld? Or was it Friends? I think it was Friends, actually. Where one of the characters went on a date with somebody that was like, it was every bit the same person that they were. And then by the end of the episode, they were like, I hate it. I think I hate myself more than anyone else. So dating myself, bad idea. I don't remember which sitcom it was, but I remember this particular bit. I do.
Stages, and
I can see myself getting married to Boogie.
I could definitely see us getting married. In fact, we may or may not have talked about it a little bit, and we may or may not sit around fantasizing about it and thinking about.
After only 2 months? Boogie, you're 50 years old. You should have enough experience to know that's a bit soon. That's a little bit soon. Y'all have NRE. Y'all have NRE right now. For those who do not know, NRE is a term that is used in polyamorous circles to talk about new relationship energy. Now, new relationship energy has a lot of hurdles to overcome. It's also known as the honeymoon phase for people who are monogamous. This phase of any relationship always comes with a caveat. And that caveat, put very, very simply, is that the relationship is so new that no matter what y'all do, everything's going to seem perfect and all right. You will ignore red flags. You will hyperfixate on the person. You will dedicate so much of your time to that person. You will want to spend time with them away from things you should be doing in life. You should be working, but you want to go spend time with them. You should. I dealt with this with Saki recently. I love Saki to death. I am ridiculously happy to be in a relationship with her. I also have to recognize that there have been times where I should have worked. I should have done my job. And instead, my brain was like, no, go spend time with your partner. Go do this. Go do this. Go do something that you are going to be able to do no matter what, but forfeit something you should be doing for something you want to do. It happens with NRE. The way that you have to navigate this in polyamorous circles, the reason it's dangerous in polyamorous circles is because when you've got multiple partners, you have to make sure that you're not forfeiting time with a partner for the sake of being with this person who you are experiencing NRE with. That new relationship energy can toxify previously established relationships. And of course, in other situations, it can do that for like your job and hobbies and everything else. You are so focused on the relationship and the newness of it and the wonder of it that you stop thinking about, living and breathing as a human being. Typically, this phase is anywhere between 3 to 6 months. 3 to 6 months. I like how Stoff is like, that's almost lesbian meme soon. Yeah, no, this is... They're officially U-Haul lesbians. Anywho, let's continue.
What it's going to look like, and I called you wifey the other day, and you loved it. You were so there for it. If I proposed right now on camera, what would you do?
I'd say yes.
That's a good sign.
Boogie has improved my life tremendously. He just makes me happy, the happiest I've ever been. And I'm not alone, and so that he just completes me. Growing up without a father figure has its challenges. Like, you just don't...
And there it is. There it is. That automatically reads as a red flag to me. That automatically reads as a red flag to me. Massively. If you are basically a stand-in for the parental figure for the person you're with, don't
have that support system that you would, and the advice that you need, and so it's just difficult. I don't ever want to be alone. That's another thing. Maybe that's why I have stuffed animals. I don't ever want to be alone, and so it's just nice to have company.
Okay, not to be disparaging, because I as somebody who's sponsored by DDLG Playground, I'm just going to go ahead and make a very, very quick assumption. This is a little, and Boogie is basically operating as Daddy Dom here. However ineptly he is. Maybe I'm incorrect. Maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm gonna say that a lot of times age regression comes as a coping mechanism for these lost bits of childhood. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that prediction out right now. No, nice helmet.
I help with the dogs. I get him his water. Like whatever he wants and requests. I just mainly is to take care of him. He takes care of me. So yeah, sometimes I pick weeds out here. So, cause like it makes it look better. Trying to trim down these vines, but I'm not doing a good job. I don't do this very much.
You know, I used to have a theory, Mike, that if you are a 40-year-old man and you have a Snapchat...
J. Bondboy says, Suris casually mentioning Littles has both validated and mortified me. My God. Jesus.
That means you're a creepy dude. Turns out my theory was right. I have a Snapchat, and I am a creepy dude. I found that person and they happened to be 20. And I get that it's creepy to date somebody half your age or younger, but...
I wouldn't say it's creepy. I would just say that it raises some questions. But it's not inherently creepy. It's not. It makes me concerned for a couple of things, but that's as far as it goes.
People can call me creepy if they want. If she's happy and I'm happy, then I will be the biggest creep you need me to be, as long as her and I are happy. You can be as mad as you want. Sexually, we both seem to be having an excellent time.
I would say that it's the best I've ever had. What? You were...
Why do we need to go back to the bathtub? Why do we need to go back to the bathtub? Why are we here? I'm not kink shaming, I'm kink asking why. Why are we here? This feels weird. You just skip past, please. Thank you.
A little off today. I had a friend tell me I look like a samurai on vacation. I was going to ask if you could see it, but...
In the front here, and I think, what are you, a YouTuber or something?
Yeah, I've been on YouTube for about 17 years.
You've been on YouTube for 17 years.
About 4 million subscribers.
Okay, and this is your girlfriend, who is much younger than you, is suspiciously.
Wow! They're even calling it out at the comedy
It's never
club.
good when you say, well, she's an adult. Is this a sex trafficking situation? You keep looking at him and never.
Why do we
I hate
need?
it when people single us out. I hate it when people like,
We're gonna do that though, it's to be expected. You're right, we're different, but
fuck them, right?
yeah, fuck.
Fuck them.
Like, if they're both happy,
He's not
cool.
manipulating me. I love him for him. He doesn't control me. We're a team. He supports me in everything I do and everything I want. He's my support system.
Let me get a McCrispy Deluxe combo. Make it large.
What do I think about his dire financial situation? I think it's scary.
Yeah, what's so scary about it?
That he might lose it all in a day. He might just be homeless one day, but
And if you
So
love
if
him
I'm
so
broke,
much, are you going to
if
do
I
anything
go
to
broke.
stop that?
Okay? If we end up back on disability and it's me, you, and Chad living.
Wait, hold on. Does bro unironically have unopened Magic the Gathering precons? These are the Baldur's Gate ones here. These appear to be the 2014 ones there. Those 2014 decks unopened unironically are hundreds of dollars each. They are hundreds of dollars each. He just has them. They're just sitting there. They're just sitting there. Like, honestly, I've considered going through my deck building kit for Magic and pricing out all the stuff that I have and taking the expensive stuff that's not getting used and just seeing what I could get for all that expensive stuff. But the thing is that I don't have a lot of expensive Magic stuff because most of it's like from precons. But still, just when it's sealed product like that, I feel like you could just very, very easily sell that.
Living in some small apartment and we're eating McDonald's every day, and that's treating ourselves. You gonna be able to handle that?
yeah,
You
I guess
stay in
it's
that?
me, you, Chad, eat McDonald's every day in our small, cute apartment.
Because I mean, I'm hopeful that people will go back to watching us on YouTube. I hope that people will be. I'm hopeful that people will like. You know, I can go back to live streaming full time again and do like 6-hour live streams like every other streamer and like grind it out. But I mean, there is a very real possibility that one day I won't be able to do that anymore, and we're gonna have to live off of whatever we can. Are you prepared for that?
As long as I have you, that's all I need.
On the one hand, that's very, very cute. On the other hand, this was done on camera. So I don't know how the sincerity translates. In my experience, when people are doing stuff like this and it's on camera, it can throw a lot of that into question. It is romantic, it is cute, it is endearing, and I sincerely hope that it works out well for them. In my financial situation, I've had similar conversations with Saki and have heard similar things where it's gone, no, it'll be okay so long as I've got you. We can figure it out as long as we've got each other. And you know what? I can appreciate that. I just hope it's genuine.
Have you ever thought about the fact that she's just waiting you out and trying to take your 401k when you die?
I'm out. I'm broke.
You're broke.
I'm broke. Yeah.
4 million subscribers.
Even if he does go broke and has to sell the house, I'm still gonna be by his side. He's the only one that I love and I care about, and there's only one of them. And so I'm not just gonna up and leave him for money, because money's an issue.
Because I love him, and just imagining a life without him is difficult.
Again, I can understand that.
I mean, my biggest fear is dying on her.
I would just think the most practical thing you could do in that situation, as opposed to just like, we'll figure it out, is going, we're both adults. One of us can hold down a job, and the other of us will work the way that we can, whether it's like him doing YouTube as a content creator and her doing a regular job on the side. Like, there's ways to make that work. And hell, for health insurance stuff, there's lots of ways to make that work. Let's say that they actually work out. They decide that marriage is a thing that's actually on the table, not just like, lovey-dovey pillow talk. But they go through with that. They get married. She works a full-time job. She gets health insurance for the both of them. He's working on YouTube, making, maybe 40, 50,000 a year. Not as much as he feels like he would need, but certainly something there. You can make damn near any house work in those circumstances. You can. Rosalind says both get jobs. Both of them getting jobs would be ideal as well if his channel is tanking the way it is. If he's making less and less and less and less and less, then yeah, that's definitely an option that's there. But I'm just saying, like, their current situation, completely unaltered, operating as they are, I would imagine that that's the route you would take. One of you get a job to afford insurance for the both of you and to take care of what bills you can in a stable way. The other of you works with a more sporadic income. It's not an impossible situation.
If I die in the next 2 or 3 years on her, that's just going to ruin her life. I really want you to understand how actually sick I am. Like, I don't know if you actually get it, but this is my health summary. This is everything that's currently wrong with me. My risk for stroke or heart attack is astronomical. I am essentially a walking time bomb, and I'm so fucking sorry for that. I really, really wish I had taken better care of my body.
And why not start taking care of it now? Like, again, any time is a good time to start dieting. Any time is a good time to start exercising. Any time is a good time to start taking care of yourself. It may not be a perfect scenario. It would have been better had you done it sooner. Yes, absolutely. But why not start that now, maybe? I don't know. I don't see the harm in starting that now. Not really. God damn it, this warlock took my thing.
Yeah, I know. I'll never be ready for it, but I know. I don't want you to be alone.
I don't want you to be alone.
Okay?
I've talked to my therapist since me and her have been together about overcoming it. My therapist keeps telling me the same thing. When you learn to love yourself, all these things will fall into place, and we just got to teach you those skills. And then I turn to my doctor, and I'm like, what do we do? He's like, you've had bypass surgery. You lost 200 pounds. What more can I do for you? I'm like, fix it, dude. Help fix it. And then they're telling me that I'm the one that has to fix it. I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Wait. Hold on. This statement right here, this one right here exemplifies everything wrong with this situation from top to bottom. You've had the surgery, yes. Now it is time for you to start working on yourself. You don't know what to do? What does that mean? You don't know how to eat healthier? You don't know how to exercise? You don't know, like, what? What part of this do you not understand? What part of taking care of yourself do you not get? The steps are generally fairly simple. Eat food that is better for you. Less stuff that is deep fried, more things that are green and leafy. Have a more diverse palette of the food you are taking. Drink more water. Go to gym. Even if it's something as little as like the walk cycle on the treadmill, it's still exercise and it is still helpful to do. It's still better for you than just sitting down and doing nothing and wallowing in the fact that you're upset that you're overweight. There are things you can do to improve that situation for yourself. And here's the thing. If you're a YouTuber who's gotten to 4 million, self-motivation should be a skill that you've developed on some level. And if you've developed that skill on some level, then the doctor telling you that this part is in your hands, I'm sorry, but it kind of is. Unless the only option you're going to consider is like, I guess liposuction or cool sculpting, but even those only go so far, don't they? So those aren't player skeletons, are they? No, these are, it's a boneyard. It's a boneyard for the Scarlet Monastery quest, so these are actually just skeletons that are here.
And I'm making less and less every month, and I'm scared shitless.
And now, making his way to the ring, Boogie tonight.
Hey, so Mike, I just got off the phone with Keemstar, and he has a boxing event coming up, and he's giving me a slot on the card.
This is 800 pounds and 1 ring.
This fight pays $10,000. No chance against me. What the fuck up? People are going to see me win this thing. This is where I turn it all around. Right here.
Wait, so he's boxing match sponsored by Keemstar, because apparently this is the new thing, is to get YouTubers to fight each other. Sure. So, wait a minute. I have a question. He can get himself motivated enough, because there's a $10,000 prize pool there, for him to start getting better at taking care of himself on the exercise front. Because there is a chance that he'll make money. Is that all this needed to be from the get-go? Just put money at the end of that stick, and then suddenly he'll exercise? Is that all it was? That feels weird. Over for the stage was set for Boogie's comeback. And then Wings won.
The way he hits my head, my brain got shocked with each one of those. It's ricocheting against my skull.
The victory shouldn't have been the only thing that mattered.
Since you guys were here last, I did have a bit of a windfall, which bought me some time here in this house. The problem with that is I spent more than $10,000 getting that fight together. So by the time all that was done, all I did was put that $10,000 back into savings.
Wait, hold on. Let me get this straight. Boogie spent more money in prep for the boxing match than he gained from the boxing match. That's not a windfall. That's just a bad financial decision. That's just an awful financial decision from top to bottom.
The new relationship is great, but I mean, she can't help pay a $2,200 mortgage. Okay, let's go through my monthly bills for a second. My health insurance is $800. I have $500 worth of medical bills. I have $500 worth of utilities. I pay for doctor's visits, physical therapies, labs constantly. I still have to pay for the car that I drive. I still have to pay for car insurance. I still have to pay for health insurance. Diablo 4 came out. I had to buy it. Final Fantasy 16 came out, I had to buy it. Tears of the Kingdom came out, I had to buy it. That's $400 for the video games right there. But if you take out all of it, you take it out, all I eat is sandwiches every day. All I do is sit here. I don't pay for any Netflix.
Red Joker says video games are not a need though. I'll go ahead and say no on that one. If you're a content creator and doing content on video games is your job, then actually those are needs. Those are in fact things that you need for your job. And getting the new game so that you can talk about it on time, that is part of the job. That is part of the job. That is considered a work expense. I'm willing to grant that that one is a work expense. Because that is stuff that's making you money. It is stuff that is keeping you alive and functional, unless you're like finding a niche on a game that you can stick in. Then doing variety game stuff is what you're going to have to do.
Subscriptions, all I pay for is internet, utilities, medical bills, mortgage. If I pay for just that, I need $7,000 a month. I'm not making $7,000 a month, and I have no clue.
Isn't that, chat, question, isn't that close to the number I came up with? $70,000 a year, so just a little under $7,000 a month is what he would need to take care of all of his stuff. I haven't watched this far into the documentary, and that was me just going, based off my expenses, this is what I would figure that he would need. Damn. I was fucking right. Imagine that.
Clue how to do it. So there's something I've always wanted to try. There's a lot of research that came out of Europe, and now we're doing it here in the United States, where psychedelics can help reset certain brains. People who experience childhood abuse, people who've gone through trauma, people who deal with post-traumatic stress disorder, and I'm all of those. To be honest, I'm scared shitless. It's one of the only things I haven't tried yet. So let's give it a shot.
My given name is Ryan Arthur DeLeolio, and I've done.
So this is where we get to the whole, like, I'm going to go on a spiritual journey part of the documentary. I couldn't solve my problems normally, so I'm turning to drugs, I guess. That's where we're at. Okay.
Adopted the name Flaming Star. There's one thing that's undeniable, is that there's always this question about why. Why am I here? Existence. What's really happening? Who am I? That's what happens when you seek out hallucinogenics. It's going to allow everything else physically here to relax. The emotional stuff is going to come out. Trauma is going to come out. But afterwards, your atoms are going to go back into their original positions. That's why. They'll be mind, body, and spirit all one together. We're all connected.
Behold, all of my mumbo-jumbo bullshit to justify this drug. I'm not saying that drugs cannot get you in a better state of mind to handle your stuff. I'm not saying they can't open you up to handling that stuff, but it's not going to fix your problems. It's not going to magically fix your problems. It's not going to magically put everything into a perspective that it could not before. So drugs, a famous solution for poor financial decisions. Yeah. This is not me saying that people shouldn't do drugs, not as a coping mechanism, not as anything else. I'm not saying people shouldn't do these things because it's okay. Hell, I've in the last 4 months, I've done edibles twice. The only 2 times I've ever done them in my life. So I'd be hypocritical to say to not do any of these things. But in all honesty, this is a pattern of Boogie going, I can't solve my own problem. I'm going to go look for another person to solve it for me. What the drugs are supposed to do is put your brain into a state where it's easier for you to look at your repressed traumas and confront them. But you have to already be in a position to want to do those things from the get-go. If you're not already in that position, then the drugs are not going to help. The shaman's not going to help. There aren't magical solutions to physical problems.
When you get to a certain point of understanding inside your intellect mind, that connectivity, you realize your hands are basically like USB ports.
So these are they. It's crazy to think that something that just grows out of the ground has so much power, and I'm actually...
Parasocial work says, I hate to get preachy, but as a mental health peer worker, psychedelic drugs have led more of my peers to drug-induced psychosis than they have to solutions. Yeah, and that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that, like, these are a tool that have a use when it comes to, you know, trying to handle these situations on your own, but using them in this self-medicating way, there are dangers associated with it, and they're not a solution. They are not. Parasocial work says drugs inducing neuroplasticity is only a support when coupled with psychotherapeutic talk therapy. Research has shown us this pretty clearly, and that's why you don't go to a fucking shaman to deal with these issues. You go to an actual professional.
Holding in my hand right now. But here we go.
Unless there's peer review shamanism that we have to deal with the same way we do in science.
They don't taste bad. Honestly, that doesn't taste too bad.
They're pretty good and dry. Everybody just says kind of earthy.
Stem and all.
Oh, the whole thing, yeah.
Okay.
Welcome to the club.
That Facebook shaman, Suris? Yeah.
God bless you and be with you on your journey.
Okay, so I think we've been about 20 minutes in.
About 15, yeah.
About 15. So we're about 15 minutes in, and I started to feel things are kind of wavy and kind of disconnected. It's kind of like my brain works on multiple channels, and like I have to pick and choose what I'm concentrating on. I'm tripping balls. I have no clue where the fuck I am, or even.
We're just watching Boogie trip on psilocybin now.
I recognize.
Oh, he's about to experience the second part of the realization of letting go.
They're hitting.
And we're gonna get to the other side of it. I told you they'd come. It's gonna get nice and bright in about 5 more minutes.
Yeah.
And the reflection in the water is really cool too. So what do you think was the first trauma that you experienced which basically set up like a defense mechanism for you?
Man, yeah, my parents are just crazy. They're broken people.
Parents?
Yeah. Stewards.
I mean, at
People
least there's
who
some
are,
talk
like,
therapy
trying to
going on
teach-
here. That's at least
okay.
something.
Okay. Yep. That makes a lot of sense, doesn't it?
What?
Nitros, thank you for resubscribing. Said, hi, Suris. Once again, I go down the neck a hole of degeneracy, tomfoolery, and whatever
they
with you
don't-
as gatekeeper.
I mean, that shit doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
No, that shit matters.
That was the dumbest shit. Oh, and it happened so long ago.
And you
Like,
repressed
I've just been waiting for the right time to just drop that shit.
So, when did you feel the need of this separate personality? Was that like what you used as a coping mechanism to socialize with?
Oh, that's exactly what it is, right? Like, I didn't know what the hell, I didn't know how to communicate what I was dealing with or what I was going through, and I just...
Right, we put on these different faces in order to deal with situations in society.
You try to give people what the hell they want.
And then you felt like that was the need to make up Francis or other
I don't know if they're
personalities?
both old, if they're both doing that, Gus.
Are you ready to let all that go?
Yeah, please, man. Oh my God. This is the first time I've ever felt happiness.
Wait, what?
Happiness. Like, this is the first time I felt it.
So I was about to tell him, man, it's all kind of bullshit. It's all bullshit. Just all the things I've been worried about.
Because you are the master of your own orchestra.
Yeah, the shaman's not as bad as I was thinking.
So it's up to you to choose.
They're actually doing some of the talk therapy stuff.
Steven,
I thought that was my phone.
Hello?
I straight up thought that was my phone. Holy shit. I was like, crap, I need to figure out where that's coming from.
I'm still not sure I'm like really here yet.
Just because it seems to work for Boogie doesn't mean try it at home.
Breakfast. Yep. That's change. Jesus. Oh, guys. Let's go. It's just all bullshit. Like
This is the Boogie
matters.
doc, yes, you
None
know.
of it. It's all a construct. It's all a simulation. It's all it's a fucking video game. You know when you die...
Is he still tripping?
You have proven your resolve, and the scars
Physically,
you
my
saved
body
remain
was fine,
sweet.
but I think I went back into the void we come from, and I think I'm still in it. Except I'm also in this physical corporal body, but I'm also the incorporeal being that puppets it and controls it, and God damn it, I feel like I'm in
he's got some
control.
after high.
I feel like I'm in control of myself for the first fucking time.
He's got some after high going on right now.
My inn, weary traveler. What can I do for you?
The stuff that I normally worry about, like worrying about my finances, worrying about my internet, worrying about what people think about me, it's all so incredibly stupid. It's all just bullshit.
You just figured that
I
out?
think I'm gonna enjoy making YouTube videos again. I think I'm gonna enjoy live streaming again. What's up, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube? Boogie2988 coming at your live to the power. When I make a video, 10,000, 15,000, 20,000 people watch. That is still my dream job. Everybody falls off. That's part of the deal.
Every single month. He had tons and tons.
You start off as a nobody, and for a short period of time you're a somebody, and then that star burns out like every star does. I was lucky enough to get hit by lightning. I was lucky enough to get to live my dream. I was lucky enough to get to enjoy all of that, play this game the way I wanted to play it. I'll be gone one day too. But for one brief moment, we got an opportunity to shine really bright.
Deals in all of Stormwind, my friend, won't find any better.
That's actually not bad. Boogie is still broke. All right, so that's it there. Let's turn that volume off for copyright reasons and see if there's any more like info that comes up here, but I don't think there's going to be here. It's just credits at this point, it looks like. Yeah, it looks like it's just credits now. I mean, I still don't know who he is, says Speciest. All right, so this is Boogie. He is the person who made the Francis persona. A long time ago, there was a viral video on the internet of a dude named... Oh, hold on. Is there, like...
Realizing that you're absolutely fucked.
Okay, alright, so...
Mike Clem is definitely not paid for this production. Okay, so it's just the end there. So that's it. That's it. Okay. So, you know, Boogie was one of the OG YouTubers. He made the Francis persona. The video of, like, you do sound like this. Getting mad at Magic the fucking Gathering. And then, like, flipping tables and stuff. That was Boogie. Boogie's the one who did that. said Boogie was not compensated for being in the documentary. To be fair, how would him being compensated in here change anything for a second? Like, I would hope that at the very least this could have been looked at as like a collaboration, maybe, just a little bit. But I don't know. What takeaways do we even have here aside from, hey, if you're going to be a YouTuber on the internet, recognize what comes with the job. Don't self-sabotage yourself. Don't fall into like despair for no good reason. You're your own person. Push through what you need to. Recognize that in a lot of ways this job is temporary. Can always be. Please diversify your stuff in such a way that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket.
Need help? Where is it you would like to go last? For just a few coins.
And don't become a manipulator. Financial planning is a good thing, and it's a thing more people should do. Like, I don't know if there's any other takeaways here besides don't squander success. Like, just don't squander your success. If you end up becoming a very successful YouTuber, please do not squander it. Please do not. Said, and don't do drugs around assholes. I don't know if the shaman was an asshole. He didn't seem that bad. Bear in mind, though, like with any documentary, this is information that is given to us through a particular lens. That information has its biases, and it's impossible to avoid that. But I am curious. He was saying before that he was trying very hard to get his channel videos to hit over 10K views. I wonder... Let's see here. Some more ordinary gamers and Boogie argued on my stream. I don't care about any of that. I want to go to Boogie's channel. Boogie... 2988. How's his stuff doing right now? So every video on his channel seems to be making anywhere between 30,000 to 50,000 views now. And he just got a video called Trolling a Makeover Specialist that hit 9.2k views. All right, so I have to ask. Is there a problem any of you can recognize with this? Also, Azermouse, thank you for the raid. How was your stream? But is there a problem any of you can recognize with this channel? Because I'm seeing one, just glancing at it right now. I'm not seeing any actual focus. I'm not seeing a focus to the channel. We've got Mario and Zelda information, retro card pack opening, content about the Game Awards, trolling a makeover specialist. Guys, I think we just discovered one of the biggest problems with Boogie's channel. There is absolutely no focus to this thing. There is no way to figure out what the episodes are supposed to be. It's wholly scatterbrained content. It is entirely scatterbrained content. That feels like a problem. Just so you know, if you're a YouTuber, YouTube likes curation. YouTube likes content to be pushed in a narrow vacuum. Variety and YouTube don't mix very well. This feels like an issue. A huge issue. Alpha Mario X says, this seems like content you would do as a small content creator. This is the content that you would do as a small content creator when you're trying to find your niche. But, like, the minute that you get, like 81,000 views off the GTA reveal, maybe you should be focusing on, gaming news at that point. Older YouTube channels could sell themselves on the idea of being a personality and the content coming secondary. Current YouTube cannot sell itself off of that. Current YouTube, you are selling content. People are not coming for you. They're coming for what you present. This is evidenced by when people change their content up, people tend to drop off because they are there for a particular type of content. That content changes, things become harder to manage. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of the comment section below. I think we've gotten a lot of information about Boogie here. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you haven't already. What did you think about the documentary? Did you watch part 1? How do you feel about how it all shook out? Ravi, thank you very much for the 500 bits. Holy fuck. As always, everybody, insert end of video tagline here. Hey there, welcome to the fan art section. Sorry to jump scare you like this, but I'm sick, so we're going to go ahead and get into this. We have fan art from one person today because I am... they got 3 people. 3 things? God, it's amazing how recording something in post doesn't actually make it smoother. Anywho, this was from SkyLily2220. Said, I think I'm in an early Halloween mood. I made a couple of doodles or maybe a mini comic at work. The first page of this goes, do you want to know how we are made? First, we infect the brain. Then, we infect the blood. From there, we will feast until we've had our fill. We are parasites, you see. And you are all infected. Netcoins are scary. As always, everybody, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord, even if it's just horror. As always, everybody, let's move into the credits.
Hey, I just quickly want to give a thank you to all of my wonderful patrons who keep this show running. YouTube and Twitch are a pretty bumpy ride at the best of times, and the stability a Patreon provides me is worth more than I can say here. I'd also like to thank each and every one of my $20 and up patrons here, and they would be Britzkrieg, Cameron, Dren, Jemshin, Smiling DM, Poundini, Mabbity Babbity, Naomi, Isaac, Agamotto, Jordan, Ravi, Giuni, Kiratorian, Prisma, all of you, I'm not saying that part, and Starlight. And finally, thank you to everyone else that helps keep this channel alive. While you're here, why not check out another video? And thank you for watching.